a fan, bro. Bust slow, the honeys, I'm in the Lambo. Yeah, baby mama, she a fan, though.
What up, chat? It's your boy, Slicktor. We are back with another episode. So now I thought we had no news for today. But Killer Cam, shout out to Cameron from Dipset, decided to interview the Punisher from the Diddy trial. And boy, oh boy, did we get some tea and insight onto what was really happening in these freak-offs. It's your boy, Slicktor. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get to this content.
Right. It was like best breakup ever, man. So, 30 years long that hustle.
So I fast forwarded a little bit because he was just giving his intro on how he got into the game. So Sheree got into the game. His ex-girlfriend became a stripper. She was making money. She decided to leave him. So he wanted some get back. So he became a male gigolo so he could show her how he was getting money too.
That's what's up. So how did the first time Puff and Cassie get in contact with you?
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little striptease for a birthday girl.
But like,
he didn't know he was going to a party. See, the Punisher thought he was just pulling up a couple chicks there. He was going to put, getting his little gigolo outfit, you know what I mean, wine and grind for the ladies. And he was going to get up out of there. No, sir. You didn't know you was entering a FO party, a freak off.
That's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah, yo, all my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just click on the website and call.
So Jack, the Punisher said, look, I'm a real business here, right? You need to please your lady and you can't do it, call the Punisher. Just go on Google and type in the Punisher, Diddy Cassie, and you'll find him. Or go online and type in male gigolo NYC. He comes up at the top. This is diabolical work.
Called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you. Where did let's say the first time, where did these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel? Like, where did these events happen at?
Not events, chat.
I was all super high-end hotels.
Gotcha.
So I remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. There was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high-end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel, it was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Yeah, so let's do the math, chat, right? $30,000 a night, and he was doing 3 to 4 night free calls. That's like $120,000. That's just for the room. So let's put the math together, chat. Do it in the comments. How much y'all think Puff was actually spending on a full free call? How much was he for the room, for the Punisher, for all of the baby oil, all of the toys, Cassie's outfits? And you're going to hear Puff was wearing a veil like he was getting married, like he was Dennis Rodman. So y'all put down in the comment section below, how much y'all think an actual freak off costs?
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy, man.
How often did they call you or book you?
Like I said in my text, I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times, right. But it would be like every few months, but it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday. And then I might not be called for.
So that answers our question, Jack, because we thought that these were, well, at least with the Punisher, we don't know about the other sex slaves he had, but the Punisher said that he did do 3 to 4 days, but he would come and he would do a full Friday session, then he would leave and give Cassie a couple hours break, or maybe Puff one of his special time with her, or maybe he had another Punisher come Punisher, right? But for those couple hours, he had some downtime. He was able to go home, freshen up, come back. So this is multiple sessions, so he was getting paid per session. You're gonna hear how much in a minute.
3-4 months, and then they'll just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. You know, they would. She would call me from a Cali number, so I assumed they were out of state. And she basically said, "Yo, can I hit you when we're in town?"
Right.
But it would be multiple nights in a row, but months in between.
Right. And if some of these questions that I asked you may seem repeated because you've been asked these same questions, I just want, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions, I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answer them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much.
Nah, Chad, that would have been fire if it was Megan Good. Put in the comment section below, y'all wish it was Megan Good instead of Cassie, and that would have been fire.
Thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Nah, never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she said at some point her husband's going to walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him.
So that's interesting, chat, because in the trial we did hear that Puff had some hidden cameras and stuff set up. So he was probably watching from the other room, right? So this is a big suite, right? Puff could have been upstairs, downstairs in the suite, a whole nother room in the suite. But he had a camera in there set up somewhere to where he was watching this for his enjoyment. And he would get Cassie knew when to come back in. Maybe they had some type of signal. Maybe she had some type of time frame. She had to count down. Who knows, man? But you're going to hear some more information. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, man. Let's get it.
Act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area, of course, the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying, chat. You ain't getting the hint that it was Puff. Like, come on, man. But he did say that he was looking for married couples, and Puff and Cassie were not technically married, so I can understand. But come on, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Why? So let me. How long? Okay, let's. I want to stick to that for a second. But how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
right.
But I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you. Got you.
You know? So then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite, and just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, but and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, "Yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs." And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no
Yo, that is wild. Yo, Chad, just imagine, like, you're in the freak off. So the freak off is what we call, like, the after party, right? Because it seems like all of the clubs was closed. They put him in there at 2 a.m. He's got to wait probably to like 4 or 5 a.m. to get freaking off with Cassie and Puff watching. So Puff was probably still at the club. Cassie was probably in there getting them all oiled up. She was getting oiled up. Puff probably came back around 3 or 4 in the morning. Now, what would y'all do if y'all was sitting on the bed in the room? Like, damn, heart racing like that. What's happening? Why is it taking so long? And you see Puff's name on the shit. It's crazy work.
No idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just coming on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television.
Wow. On the TV.
Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
The first time. And it was offered, yo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chad. Cam is funny, man, because like this dude is about sessions, right? And I feel like this dude is right here is in like a therapy session right now with Cam, right? Cam is giving him like a therapist type of question. Like, this is nasty work. Shout out to my man Flea, man. Uptown, downtown.
But I was so bugged out. Like this wasn't my hustle, right? So I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene. Mm-hmm. So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby oil rub down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him. And she came back like, yo, that was perfect. We happy, we good. Mm-hmm. And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, you know, I guess, do I want to bust a nut out? You know what I'm saying? And
finish him! Drop a bomb for Sheree, man, to punish her.
My first example, you know, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left, you know, but she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So I'm not, of course I'm down.
Yeah, y'all pulling up to the freak off. You get 2 bands just to rub oil down on Cassie. Y'all pulling up, chat? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you want to hit me back. But it was offered to me the first time and I actually turned it down, yo. Trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Mandatory, yo.
Yeah, he got a baby oil. That's just mandatory. I've seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like when I first got in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So, you know, it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and kind of, I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we'll rub it on each other and we doing little.
Chat, who y'all think Puff was watching? So he had them rubbing oil on each other separately, right? While Puff is sitting there watching, who you think he looking at? You think he's looking at Cassie, who he's seen oil herself up 1,000,000 times? Or you think he's looking at the Punisher? The Punisher. Let me know in the comment section below.
Like masturbating, I'm masturbating, she's masturbating, but you could tell it was an act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies, you know what I'm saying? Like the sex scene in them little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, you know, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit, and he'll say like, yo, move a little bit, yo, move the candle, I can't really see, or move the body. And he would never talk to me, not one word to me, only to her. And if his instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine. And it really went like that every single time. So
he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow.
Chat, what it sounds like to me is Cassie must have had one of them Secret Service earpieces in. Because how would Puff be able to signal her like that? You know what I'm saying? I guess in the beginning, because in the beginning, he wasn't in the same room, right? But now they're saying that Puff was, you're going to hear he was sitting on like a chair in the corner in the dark with a veil over his face. Like Dennis Rodman. This is crazy diabolical work. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And while I got y'all here, chat, let me just say, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Please like, share, subscribe more. I'm seeing all the subscriptions coming in. I will be doing some giveaways soon. It's your boy Slicktor. Now back to the content.
Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff will have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that like?
A Muslim mask. Yo, Cam is crazy, man.
Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already weird knowing like a dude's coming in the room, you know? But, you know, I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's half the time he's beating off and he's walking side to side.
Yeah, look at Cam's face. That's how I feel right now too. Imagine, well, for Cam it's different because he know Puff, right? He doesn't shake hands with Puff and all of that. So imagine like a nigga you knew, an acquaintance of yours, probably used to be your man's, and you hearing that homeboy was in a veil sitting in the corner like, yeah, nigga, Punisher. Like, come on, rubbing the oil on, take that, do that shit. Like, come on, man. Killers feel like me right now. That's all we can say, man. It's like, yo, every bit of this is paused, man. But shout out to the Punisher for coming on to tell his story, chat. What do y'all think of this?
So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't gonna front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm trying to make it work. But it was tough.
Nigga, I wouldn't have did that. Don't look at Cam face. I saw you, eh?
Man, it was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil. Like what? Like everything. So everything was just covering the face. Super duper pause and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period. Like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV, and at some point he just changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, Cam is a bit confused because Puff definitely had hidden cameras in the room that the Punisher was in. He probably wanted to see the Punisher's reaction to seeing his name on the TV. He probably said, you know what? We had Homeboy with us for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and just expose who we are. Let's see what he do with it. All right, so everybody's watching his whole reaction. What do y'all think the Punisher's reaction was in the room when he found out that it was Puff's room when he seen it on that TV?
Like, I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing a veil, and he was just like rocker fitted.
Right.
Cam is confused.
I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Yeah, man. Every time, you know, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this, yo. So
what was being done with the Astroglide though?
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so why didn't he just use the baby oil, chat?
And that was, you know, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up.
Yeah, y'all know what a cuckold is. Is it you could be a voyeur, right? If you just like watching, you know what I mean, a chick get smashed out. But if it's your girl, then you're a cuck, man. You're a cuck. Go watch it. If y'all watch the adult film industry, you see the cuckold films. That's what they're saying. That's what Puff was. He like to watch his girl get knocked down by other men.
Up the cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man. Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time, all this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her.
Mm-hmm.
So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we
Chat. Yo, Chat. Y'all doing all that for $2,000? Like Puff walking around the room with the veil and the Yankee hat on, or at this point he just had the Yankee fitted on. Probably got some Timbs. Oh no, we seen Puff like the freak off with the socks on when we seen the Cassie video in the hallway. But just imagine nigga Puff come up to you and slap your ass with some money, man, some hundreds. What you gonna do, man? Tell me what y'all gonna do, chat. That's crazy.
When me and her was having sex, and we both was like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering the information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out second hundred, just throw it on the bed.
Throw it on the bed.
Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking, what was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 or $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
so be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so if he was doing three sessions, chat, let's just say at most, let's go with the 2 hand, right? Hopefully he was getting the full 2 for all of this shit. But so let's go with the 2. So that's $6,000 right there that he was getting for that weekend. Plus add that on to the 120. So that's 126,000. So now we're gonna keep going. Now you gotta tally up all of the baby oil bottles. Remember, there's 10 bottles of baby oil, a little swimming pool, Cassie's outfits, Puff's Astroglide. This shit was getting nasty in there, chat. Comment down below how much y'all think Puff was spending on the freak off.
Got you. And it will last 2-3 days?
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home, you'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. That
nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga, man. I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Not really. I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude,
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things.
I don't think that's the case, Chad. I think that she was going to do it with whoever Puff was comfortable with watching. I don't believe Cassie had any say-so on who she picked or anything. I believe she would put together a list or show Puff, but at the end of the day, it came back down to Puff who was going to return. Because for Puff to come up and just throw that money on the bed like that next to this naked man and his girl, right? He must have really liked what was going on. He must have loved the performance, because he said that he only got paid. He used to get paid only after the freak offs. Now this time he got paid in the middle of it.
When it worked for her, so that's why she said, "I want to call you back."
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not. Yeah.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah, I was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man.
Right.
She with a dude and $30,000 a night suites. like I move, I can pull it off with chicks, but you know, that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, you know, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
Yo, this is when Rico comes out. This ain't even Cam no more. If y'all ever watch Pay the Phone, this is when Rico comes out. Because Cam gets crazy, man. Shout out to my man Killer Cam. We gotta drop a bomb for Killer Cam, man. Shout out to Flea Farms. Pink horsepower will leave you stiffer than the mannequin.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street or 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors.
It was always rumors since I was a kid that Puff was involved in these types of activities. I remember my pops used to tell me that, like, man, shut up, man, stop lying. You lying on Puff. So now they hear all of this stuff come out like to the light. It's really crazy, man.
Was that he could be, you know, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold on, wait, what did he just say?
Yeah, I would have asked him, like, was he making a different voice? Was he doing a disguising voice? Because if you hear Puff talk, you kind of know it's Puff, right? I mean, I would know it was Puff. I don't know. Tell me down in the chat what y'all think below, man.
Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay, you're saying?
absolutely not.
Right.
No, Cam had to get that one. He was waiting for that one. Like, he's about to ask, like, did you and Puff do some shit too? Like, you know what I'm saying?
So therefore, you're saying that already, just to put everything into perspective, that you're there for this chicken to get this money. You don't know it's Puff this whole time. So you already thinking like, okay, this nigga's being weird, whoever it is, and I got to keep an eye out for him because we don't know what type, in case he want to, if he get mad, if he want to join, I'm not with none of that. I'm here to bone your bitch like you paid me to do and stay the fuck out of it. But what you're saying is the paranoia intensified once you found out it was Puff and you like, oh, hold on, now this shit done got to 10 because not only am I fucking this nigga girl, but it's Puff. So now you saying you hearing shit that you wasn't hearing, and now you can't really enjoy the pussy like you want to enjoy it.
The voice is in that. The voice is in my head.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I'm not intimately connected, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't think I got a real erection the entire time.
Right.
Like I was loading up on any pill, anything that I could take just to get there because I could not connect.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was too paranoid, it was official paranoid, bro. Like,
right.
Because I'm not used to being in that situation. And then it's like homie got on the veil and he butt naked. And then like I said, I find out it's Puff. And then it's the rumors. So real talk, I'm like, yo, I don't want this to go left.
Right.
So,
well, listen, man, we're going to get you some pink horsepower because it don't matter what the situation is. That joint work. We're going to, you from the...
Yo, that horsepower shit do work, man. I took it for the first time 2019. I think that's when the year it came out. Fashion Week and went uptown to the deli on 139th. And that shit was in there, whatever. That's actually the same day I met Cam at Fashion Week. Shout out to my man Killer Cam, bro. I'm gonna put that picture at the end of the shit too. But we gonna get back to the content. But yeah, fellas, make sure you take that pink horsepower, man. No need for panicking. Leave you stiffer than a mannequin, man.
On the block, we'll send you a case up there. Nah, you already, nigga. That ain't about nothing. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro. Yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds,
right?
Like we were on the bed and you know, I started out, you know, I'm eating a box, right? And after, you could tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration, and she kind of looked at him, and he was like, "Yo, go ahead, have a good time." And I was wild, right?
Yo. All right, chat. And then if y'all letting your chick or your wife get smashed down, right, by some other dude, some gigolo dude named the Punisher, right? You let them hit that raw. That's what really kind of showed me right there that Puff really didn't like Cassie. Cassie was just a toss-up. He was there. That was his way of getting other men into the room where he could watch those men. If you listen, the Punisher said he was eating Cassie out and she was laid on her back. I mean, his ass cheeks was in the air. His butt was laid down or something. You know what I'm saying? So what was Puff looking at, man? Come on, B.
Reckless. I just
right.
It was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly.
That was, let's say that was the 4th time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Got you. Gotta go raw sometime. You gotta go raw and Cassie and be like that, my nigga. Some of my co-hosts, they got a couple questions for you, but I got one more question before they ask you a couple questions. We hear about 50's baby mom, Daphne, being involved in some of these things. Did you ever fuck Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man. Hey, yo, my man Larry, Sheree, you got a question for him? We get ready to wrap this up. Sheree, you've been great, man, and thank you for participating. A couple more questions before we get you out of here. And also, we want to talk about your book before you go as well.
I appreciate that.
Yo, what's good, fam? So my question is, you said on the first night, that she asked you if you wanted to continue, and you said no. So I'm asking is, she wanted to continue. Was Puff there? So basically, I'm saying, did she want to do it without Puff?
So when she came back in the room and asked me, her actual words was, "Do you want to finish?" Right? So I found out later, finish meant me busting a nut.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yo, you didn't know that, Sheree? Come on, man. How you the Punisher? You ain't know what finisher mean, man. Come on, B.
Yeah, so she offered, but like I said, I just turned it down. And if I'm keeping it 100, part of the reason why I turned it down is because I was struggling to get my joint up and hold an erection anyway, because homie got on the veil. I don't know who it is. He's pacing back and forth. So I couldn't get in that zone anyway. So I turned it down. You know, obviously I'm trying to be professional or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think I could have finished if I wanted to.
But he wasn't in the room with you anymore.
He wasn't, but what I would assume what would have happened was she would have said, "Do I want to?" And if I would have started, he would have walked back in.
All right, then I got two more. So the other one was, when he threw a stack of money on you, were you able to keep that money? Was that the most money that he threw on you? Was that like, when you said it was a stack of hundreds, like how like you said earlier, 1,200 to 2,000. Was it more than that, or was that the 1,200 to 2,000? Because when I think of a stack, I think of like 5,000, 10,000.
Nah, it wasn't a stack. It was, I believe it was 2,000. And honestly, I thought that was a day I was going to really make a lot of bread, because the 2,000 got thrown on the bed, was put to the side. As soon as we finished, it was handed to me. So I was hoping then she was going to come, because he would come at the end of the night and pay me again, and that'd be an additional money. But that 2,000 ended up just being the money I got. So it wasn't like a super paid.
You see, so chat, Puff just threw the payment down. He said, "I'm giving you early payment, B. You was performing in there.
Day of a session. So I just pretty much got my money in advance. you know.
I got you. My last question is, when all this kind of came about, you know, there's this history now of Puff being really violent. Were you scared to testify? Are you scared of retribution? Are you like was that an issue for you to go testify?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider, right? But look, what I understand is the details of what went on. Obviously, they're going to be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what happened in those encounters, and you know, I got to testify to what happened. But the truth of the matter is, I don't feel like I was biased or let's say, threw him under the bus, right? You know, none of my testimony is saying she was abused, like you know, there was aggression, there was, it was not consented. You know what I'm saying? She was under the influence of the drugs, because that's just not true, right? Like everything seemed in the right mind. Everybody seemed cool. All my communications and everything with her was on point. So honestly, I thought me testifying my actual facts actually probably benefited to the defense. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure why the prosecution wanted me to testify. So I felt like as long as I go up there and say exactly what happened, again, there's going to be an embarrassing element to it. But I don't think I don't think my testimony seemed biased, as if I was trying to do anything other than telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not like framing things, you know what I'm saying, to go out of my way to put them in a bad light or put anybody in a light other than what the facts were.
Cool. And my other co-host, PT, got a couple questions?
Yeah, what's going on, family? The question I wanted to ask you was, when she first told you, in your first encounter, when she hit you and she told you it was for her husband, as you progressed and kept going with her after these dates, at any point did you think she enjoyed it as well as Puff or more than Puff?
So there was only one time where I can, you know, I testified to it also, where it was clear to me that I thought she enjoyed it. Like, and that was the first time we were at Raw and he threw the money and stuff like that. Cause you know, obviously we fellas, we mess with chicks, you know, the mannerisms when it's a connection and when it's not, right? So, but I could say that's the only time it was overtly, I thought, and this is my perspective, that she was enjoying it. The other times, it was clear it was acting. We were putting on a show. Not that she was against it, but you know, I'm not gonna like go on no ego trip like, oh, she was loving it, she was loving me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get those vibes. We were putting on a show.
All right, second question. When he gave y'all the permission to go Raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going Raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but it was instructions from her, like specifically.
Yo, Cam's like, yo, come on, hey, come on, B. So pretty much Puff will call Cassie in a little Secret Service headphone, come back into the room. Yeah, make sure he punish you. When you mean punisher, when he mean finish, he mean nut in him. Because remember, Puff like that around his nipples, right? Puff was into that kinky shit, man. Cam is lost for words, man. Just his mind. What do y'all think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. We almost done, Jack.
Every time I nutted, I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. Like, so on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. Like the session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina. Like,
you couldn't leave until that happened?
Yeah, that was like mandatory. It was like,
so
that gotta happen for the session to be over.
And those instructions that she gave you, they came from him or they was from both of them or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her. Mm-hmm. So instructions came from her.
Okay.
Good. Yo, good. Yo, Ray, man. So before we get you out of here, tell.
Yo, man, chat, that was crazy. There you have it. That was the Punisher from the Puffy trial. The Punisher was one of the main New York guys that Puffy used to punish Cassie, right? And you just heard his full story there. Cameron, of course, with the great commentary, man. Killer Cam, great questions. Shout out to Larry. Shout out to all of those guys. I wish you would have had Mace up there. Mace, we would have loved to have heard what you know what I mean? What you thought about this stuff too, but I'm sure we'll hear about it tomorrow on It Is What It Is. Shout out to Fleet Farms, You're Welcome Network. It's your boy Slicktor Victor. Hey, look, I left my Instagram down below. If y'all want to follow me, y'all want to make some music together, holla at me, let me know. Merch coming on the way. And also I left my Cash App down there if y'all want to support the channel. It's your boy Slicktor Victor. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I appreciate you. Have a good one. We out.
Your mama, she a fan though. All my niggas, they strapped to be in that band though. How you hating, you a fan, bro? Bust slow, the honeys, I'm in the Lambo. Yeah, baby.